Of course, there was a major problem on Tuesday, Super Tuesday, with long lines and waits at polling stations throughout Los Angeles County, the largest voting jurisdiction in the nation. LA County Registrar of Voters Dean Logan has apologized and says he's getting to the bottom for the, in some cases, 3-hour-long waits on an election day when they rolled out a new voting system at a cost of an estimated $300 million. Among those critical of the county's performance, Secretary of State Alex Padilla, who wrote a letter to Mr. Logan demanding that for November, the county send ballots by mail to every registered voter in the county.
Hugely frustrated and frankly disappointed for the voters who had to wait in such long lines on Tuesday. Not just as a Secretary of State, but as a voter here in Los Angeles County. So clearly the county needs to do much better getting ready for November. Among the issues that we heard, not just the long lines, but why the long lines? Was it insufficient equipment? Was it insufficient capacity at some vote centers, whether it was downtown LA or in Santa Monica or places where we know there's a high concentration of people, and the check-in process itself, not so much the ballot marking devices that were the attention. So here's a very simple way to make big improvements for November. 15 counties administered this Voters' Choice Act model. 14 counties ran smoothly, LA County being the exception. The main difference between LA County and all the others is, in all the others, all registered voters automatically receive their ballot 1 month before the election. It's better for voters, giving them options of how to return their ballot once they've filled it out. More people voting by mail or more people showing up to simply drop off their ballot frees up time and capacity for poll workers to better assist voters who are coming in to vote in person, need assistance, or need to register same day. And I believe if we implement that in Los Angeles County, that would go a long way in addressing those lines that we saw on Tuesday night.
Why write this letter now and come down on the registrar, Dean Logan, and not wait for him to do his own assessment exactly as to what went wrong?
Look, there does need to be a continual assessment as to the root cause of why the lines we saw on Tuesday manifested. From what we know so far, from Election Day observers to the nature of calls to the state's voter hotline, we know that there were by and large logistics issues, execution issues, managerial issues.
Right, but why not wait until they take a look at that? Why not wait until they've looked at what happened and do a careful analysis before coming down hard on the registrar and saying, you screwed up and you need to do it my way?
Look, it's not an either or. There needs to be ongoing review of what happened and what else can be fixed. But I can tell you right now, it's a no-brainer, and the evidence is clear. If they add the send every voter a ballot ahead of time, it would go a long way to making the November elections experience a heck of a lot better for all voters. We know it because we've seen what the experience was in the other 14 counties, and we're calling for it now because, to the county's point, we need time to put the measures in place to be able to implement that for this November. We wait too long for the review, we wait too long for the recommendations, and we won't be able to implement in time.
Can we admit that the convenience of early voting has a cost? That when you vote early, you don't vote with the same amount of information that a voter who casts their ballot on election day has. You had literally millions of people voting for candidates who had dropped out by the time the election took place.
Look, early voting is not a mandate, it is an option. It is a convenience for voters. There's many voters who have chosen to vote early for years in California, primarily by mail. And so the vote center model is providing an early in-person voting opportunity for voters who choose it. Folks who want to wait, they can wait, but even then, vote centers are a plus because they give you the geographic convenience of voting anywhere in the county convenient to you. It's not about one or the other, it's about choices for the voters.
And the goal for November is learn from this mistake.
Goal for November is to do it a heck of a lot better than Tuesday. We've begun to learn, more to learn, and significant changes are needed. But as Secretary of State, I'm committed to bringing state resources to bear, other outside resources. We just need LA County to do their part.
The Registrar-Recorder for LA County, Dean Logan, says a probe into the Election Day problems is underway and that a universal vote-by-mail approach will be addressed in a report to the Board of Supervisors. But mailing out an additional 2 million ballots will cost more money, could undercut same-day registration efforts, and a move away from in-person voting could be a burden to students, non-native English speakers, and even the homeless. That's our program for today. News Conference at 9 o'clock is preempted by NBC Sports. We will be back with that program next Sunday. Meet the Press is at the top of the hour. I'm Conan Nolan. Have a great Sunday.